It's now time to take a look at news stories making headlines around the globe. President Bola TINUBU is asking the National Assembly to approve the sum of 500 billion naira to allow the federal government provide palliatives to cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal. TINUBU's request is contained in a letter sent to the National Assembly and read by Tajuddin Abbas, Speaker of the House during plenary. Also, TINUBU has acknowledged the hardships faced by Nigerians following the removal of petrol subsidy, while promising that the savings will benefit a larger number of people. The president made the remarks when he received the class of 1999 governors, a group of governors that ushered in the current democratic dispensation on May 29, 1999. State House correspondent Adesua Omoran has more details.
In a remarkable show of rare camaraderie, the governors who pioneered the Fourth Republic in 1999 pay a courtesy visit to President Bola TINUBU at the presidential villa. President TINUBU, a foundation member of the group of governors known as the Class of 99, warmly welcomes them. The meeting is aimed at congratulating the president and expressing gratitude for his proactive approach in addressing critical issues, including the removal of petrol subsidy.
I understand people are suffering. Yes, there can be no childbirth without the pain. To benefit the largest number of people in the country and not a few smugglers and exploiters. The palliative is coming. I'm doing the arithmetic. I don't want even the cash transfers to fall into wrong hands. So please, help persuade them to be a little patient.
President TINUBU acknowledges the enormous task of governing Africa's largest economy and assures the nation that improved security measures will be implemented. He also vows to address what he refers to as obsolete approaches to governance.
Things are getting gradually better. And I will appeal to Dari to please send a message back home to Plateau. The peace, that kind of peace that you have then, you desire now. We will do everything possible to stabilize the country. We have no reason whatsoever killing ourselves. For what? Boundary is not defined by God, it is defined by individuals. It's a man-made problem. And we can sit around and sort it out. Will we change the way we do things?
Lucky Igbinedion, the chairman of the group and former governor of Edo State, pledges the group's unwavering support, emphasizing their commitment extends beyond party politics.
Therefore, all hands must be on deck to give Mr. President the needed support and encouragement to foster a better country, a better nation. We also seize the opportunity to congratulate him as the new chairman of ECOWAS and assure him that we are with him, and anytime he wants to dig into the wealth of experience of these very prominent and well-founded members of Class of 99, he should be rest assured that we'll continue to give him the necessary support.
President Bola TINUBU becomes only the second to transition from state governance to the highest office in the country from the Class of 1999 after the late Umar Musa Yar'Adua.
Right, Rufai, morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, Ira. Real quickly, yes, a lot has been said about these palliatives, but I hope this is not the only palliative we're going to get. Because if it is scary. 500 billion is a far cry to what has been taken out of this economy. And that's why Labour has kicked. And I also think that the committee, joint committee set up between government and Labour, will bring out their report on time so that they can review the recommendations of the palliatives. And the concerns of Labour has always been palliative needs to be holistic. It should also involve increase in wage of workers. It should also involve fixing the refinery. Hopefully Dangote refinery will come on stream soon. It should also involve ensuring that we get more modular refineries in. It should also involve welfare for elderly people and young people. It should also involve an alternative mix of energy for our buses and our cars on the road. So these are part of the things that form the framework. But mostly the important palliative I see should also be around food. Because when you look at it, for every household income, food takes a sizable part, over 30 to 40%. You hear, there was a story in the papers this morning that a lawmaker said farmers now have to pay taxes to jihadists from Niger, which also makes it difficult for us to get food out. And food inflation is on the increase. A couple of days down the line, we'll see the new inflation numbers. I'll be able to make determinations from that. Also, palliative should be around, even if it's to pick 4 major staples: rice, beans, the tubers, and probably tomatoes, and ensure that we can reduce the price of this food for people in the market. Because most Nigerians at least consume a sizable portion of this 4 staples. But also, the question will be, how will this money be spent? He talked about accountability and integrity, that he doesn't want the money to fall into wrong hands. Is this money also different from the $800 million loan we talked about with the World Bank? So there are many questions, but I hope that this is not the only palliative. Any palliative is welcome, but I hope this is not the only one, and I hope we still have many more in the bag to be able to cushion the effect of the pain and the suffering on the people. But I also understand the viewpoint of Labour on this. I yield the floor.
The president of Nigeria met yesterday with the class of 1999. The governors who immediately took over after civil society and Nigerians in general triumphed over military dictatorship that had been a prolonged phase in Nigerian history. And so his classmates came to meet him yesterday. So it was a meeting of an alumni group. Well, some were not there because they had since passed on. God bless their memory. Umaru Yar'Adua was governor in 1999. Adebayo Adefarati was governor in 1999. Who else had passed on in that group? Abubakar Udu of Kogi State has also passed on. Lamade Shino of Oyo State. Yeah. But in any case, you know, there was still good representation of his former classmates who came to congratulate one of their own for making it. The ambition of many governors in Nigeria being to emerge, if possible, either as a senator or to even become the president of Nigeria. So good representation. So speaking to his classmates, you know, President TINUBU used the opportunity to talk about a number of issues. One, fuel subsidy, which he says is in the best interest of Nigerians. And he says he's going to look for palliatives to ameliorate, to lessen the burden, because he realizes that Nigerians are suffering in the immediate term as a result of this fuel subsidy removal. Now, he said that Nigerians should make sacrifice. Well, we hope that our leaders too will make their necessary sacrifice. This is what Nigerians are talking about. We can't be buying fuel for 500 naira per liter, and you are saying you will provide palliatives. And we see, you know, the leaders of Nigeria living large at our expense. President TINUBU, that's something that he has to address in this regard. He made a point that I don't want cash transfer to fall into wrong hands. We also don't expect that cash transfer will fall into wrong hands. If there's going to be conditional cash transfer, it should go into the hands of, you know, everybody. There should be equity, there should be fairness, there should be justice, because the last time they talked about cash transfer in this country, it went into wrong hands. The president talked about unity, equity, stability. These are the things that he has always talked about, to unify the country, to ensure equity. He talked about fixing electricity. He told his colleagues, his former classmates, about addressing the challenge of insecurity in the country. Okay, on point. These are very relevant issues, and we have seen
that, the same day, yesterday, he sent a letter to the House of Representatives asking for an extraction of $500 billion naira, 500 billion naira from the 2022 Appropriation Act to provide palliatives for Nigeria. Now, that will be in addition to the $800 million from the World Bank, the $800 million from the IMF, the $500 million from the World Bank, and now the extraction of another 500 billion naira from the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act. Nigerians expect that they will see the palliatives having effect in their lives. That transparency and accountability is very important. Former Governor Lucky Igbenedion says, oh, we are ready to work with you, we are available, we are your team on the field, we are your advisors. And he says he too is willing to work with them. I hope the purpose of their going there is not for some of them to go and lobby for appointments, because I saw the way some of them were bouncing, as if they make them senior special assistant, they will take it. That should not be the purpose. But to identify with one of their own is not something we can argue against. Or don't you think some of them, if they make them personal assistant, will take the job?
They will not take it, Dr. Abatia. I'll cost them some slack. These have been governors since 1999, over 20 years. Well, okay. They are okay. They are okay.
Okay. But they will say they want to serve Nigeria.
No. They've served enough.
Okay, one of them is Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. Another one may want an appointment. I hope that's not the purpose of the meeting.
That's enough.
But just solidarity.
Stop wawulence.
I do think that, to be fair, I think there's still some experience we can draw from some of these class of 99 members. For instance, Mr. Donald Duke of Cross River State might still have something, or should still have something to offer, and a few other governors like that. But in terms of the palliatives that has been talked about, which is the focal point of this conversation, we're 16 days shy of 2 months when the announcement was made by the president on the 29th of May this year that fuel subsidy was gone. And following that, what Nigerians had been promised was that there would be an attendant announcement on palliatives, and there would be provision for palliatives, and this is what a number of Nigerians have been waiting for. It's glaring, the effect, the multiplier effect of the removal of fuel subsidy, whilst the gains have been highlighted numerous times when the president met with Council of Chiefs and a few other groups. He had defended his position on the removal of fuel subsidy and had promised that they were looking into providing a robust palliative structure so that the hardest hit in Nigeria would not be hit. However, the conversation has also been around what would be the modalities, what would be the detail of these palliatives. Would it be conditional cash transfer? Would it be non-cash options? Obviously, from the president's speech, there would be conditional cash transfers. He had mentioned that he would ensure that it wouldn't get, cash transfer wouldn't get into the wrong hands, as we had seen in the past. Now, in addition to our areas that have been mentioned in terms of where attention should be paid, in terms of food, in terms of alternative mode of transportation, in terms of palliatives in those areas, I think we mustn't forget small and micro businesses in Nigeria. They've also been hard hit by this fuel subsidy removal. We must remember them in the plan to ensure that we're able to support small businesses as well as individuals who have had to suffer in the last few months. I want to encourage the president. Yes, we are hearing the right sound bites, but we want to see action. We hope that when the House deliberates on this today, it's almost clear that they would approve it. But we're looking forward to us seeing a definite action in terms of palliatives for Nigerians who are currently suffering under the current economic realities. Well.